Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Come on. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Say hello to somebody around you. Hey, David, how are you? Here we go.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Oh, yes, yes. We got a lot of stuff going on today. So let's get started. All right. So let's say our mission statement together, please. Let's say it with enthusiasm. We are a positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our vision is spiritual awakening and personal growth in a world that works for everyone. Our mission is to help individuals discover the spiritual tools and inner power that has the ability to transform lives and make the world a better place. Amen. That is why you are here every Sunday, right? All right. So today is Celebration Sunday. So after we welcome our newcomers today, our visitors for the first time, we are going to be celebrating. We have 3 practitioners receiving 5-year pins. We have Reverend Michelle, who's receiving her 15-year pin as a minister. We have 2 new practitioners, and we have the ordination of Reverend Ruth Ann Banners. So we're going to do a quick ceremony. But for those of you who can't stay, just want you to know that's what we're doing. So we are so truly blessed today. And always, as always. So this afternoon, Chris, who is one of our congregants, is having this movie. And I'm just going to read it. It's Political Animals. And it's Political Animals is a powerful, award-winning documentary about 4 California lawmakers, all women, who took the fight for equality from the streets into the halls of government to create lasting social justice and equality. So join Reverend Joe. I'll be there this afternoon at the Camelot so that we can see this powerful movie and support Chris. What's next, William? Our Patriot Ride is coming up. Do you want to say just, Cheryl, real quick, you have 30 seconds commercial about the Patriot Ride.
Good morning. The Patriot Ride is interesting in a fundraiser sort of way because what you pay is your time. Your time then comes back to the center in the form of money. So if any of you are interested in helping us, it's next weekend. It's on the Friday, we're doing vendor setup, and on Saturday, we need people to work in the apparel booth and some vendor setup. So if you're interested, the sign-up sheets are outside, and I hope that everybody here wants to be of service, so let's show it.
And you said it was fun, too, right? Fun. All right, what else do we have? Next, AIDS Walk. Gary.
Thank you.
Wow, great big group. And hey, look at me. I actually have a shirt on brighter than Dr. Joe's. Anyway, we still have plenty of room for walkers in this walk. You can sign up when you're going outside. The great news is we passed our $1,000 in donations, so we get a free booth to hand out information on the center. And we started out today at $1,125, and since the 9 o'clock service, we're up to $1,200. So let's keep this going so we can hit our goal of $2,000. Thank you.
Thank you for all your work, Gary, to do this. Reignite. So next Sunday, we are having our Reignite workshop here, and that's for anybody who's been here 2 years to 25 or more.
Yeah, and who's been here over 2 years? Really high. Okay. Who feels the difference in the community? Not as many. Well, we want you to come to Reignite so that you do feel that and let you know what's happening. So if you've been here over 2 years, we've had over 170 people go through our new member and membership programs over the last year. 170 people. So what we're trying to do is bring you into the fold, and if you come to Reignite next week, you're going to get a sneak preview of what's coming. And I was almost going to let the cat out of the bag because I know all this stuff, but it's an amazing, we've got an amazing fall and winter plan. If you come to Reignite, it's going to be about 2.5 hours. We are going to feed you. So it is a free lunch. Anybody like free lunches? All right, so you get a free lunch out of it. You get to know what's happening in your community, and you get to feel that heart-centered connection that we are evolving and really trying to touch each and every person. So that's your charge. There is a sign-up sheet out in front. We need to know who's coming so we have enough food for you. So if you would please, I think Laura will be out in front. Maybe I'll be out in front. Somebody will be there.
I've got the celebration to do. Do you want to change your life? The reception, I will tell them. There is a reception after we have our ordination too. So out in the Rose Garden, we're going to have some little bubbly, well, not real bubbly, sparkling wine. Sorry, don't get too excited. Anyway, on October 28th, Saturday, I'm going to be doing a spiritual mind treatment workshop, a 3.5-hour workshop. If you want to learn the 5 steps that we use here at our center for prayer and work on it and really be able to write some magnificent prayers for yourself, please join me. Those of you that are in my foundations class, this is a mandatory class for your accreditation. If you don't care about your accreditation, don't come, but I don't know why you're in foundations if you're not going to learn how to pray. We should all want to learn how to do powerful prayers. So it's love offering. It will be actually be in the sanctuary. We are, the Rainbow Alliance on October 28th is having a Halloween costume party. I don't care what your age is. We still love to dress up and play and pretend to be someone or something we're not, or maybe really show up as we are. I don't know. Anyway, it's up to you. You'll understand that when you hear Dr. Joe's talk. No. Anyway, it's going to be October 28th, 5 to 8 p.m. Sign-ups are on the patio. And we're selling pumpkins out there. Please bring your pumpkins. The kids have already started decorating. And also Carol asked that if you would bring your toilet paper rolls, the empty ones, and your paper towel rolls, because they use them for different projects and so forth. And so we all have those, so we can bring those. This Wednesday night is our South African Youth Choir. You can still buy tickets. We want you to know that all the money raised for that goes directly to them. We're not taking anything. It's for them so that they can continue traveling around, singing and sharing their diversity and just have a wonderful experience. So please support that. There are still some tickets available for that. And I think that's it. All right. So at this point, I am going to turn it over to our lovely, beautiful, talented Jerry Lynn to introduce our guest artist today. Thank you.
Reverend Laura. All right, everybody. As I said, you're in for a treat. First of all, good morning. Happy Sunday. It's a beautiful, beautiful day, is it not? This young lady is so amazing. She's powerful. Her and Bob actually work together in town, do concerts, touring, you name it. Deanna Bogart is a great talent. She's a writer, she's a singer, she's a great piano player and a sax player, as you see. She was born in Detroit, grew up in New York, and she's been on the road ever since she was born. So, without further ado, please bring out Deanna Bogart. Here we go.
Good morning. Hi. Like I said earlier, this is my first time being here, and it feels so good here. And thank you. Thank you for letting me be part of this. Don't just look through the peephole. You got to open the door. One, two, three. You work real hard all of your life to make your dreams come true. When opportunity comes your way, tell me, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna be scared? Close your eyes, say that you need more time. You can decide to move on or move to the back of the line. Chance may not come along. Find yourself singing the same old song. Somebody's knocking. Could be all you've been waiting for. Don't just look through the people. You got to open the door. Well, I have this friend. He played the guitar. That's you, Bobby. Wanted to be in a band. He practiced night and day to be the best that he can. His friends said, let's go, take the show on the road. She just would not agree. He's still playing in his room and they're on the TV. Another chance may not come along. Find yourself in the same old song. Somebody's knocking. The all you've been waiting for. Don't just look through the people. You got to open the door. Ooh, do you want to always wonder? Ooh, if you could have had more. Ooh, tomorrow's not a promise. Just look through the people. You got to open the door. Another chance may not come along. Find yourself singing the same old song. Somebody's knocking. All you've been waiting for. Don't just look through the people. You got to open the door. Do you want to always wonder? Ooh, if you couldn't have more. Ooh, tomorrow's not a promise. Just look through the people. You got to open the door. Want to always wonder. Ooh, if you could have more. Ooh, tomorrow's not a promise. Just look through the people. You got to open the door.
All right. Beautiful. Thanks, Deanna. Wow. Where's my mom? Mom, where are you? Janie, what the heck are you doing back there? Here, you left these in my office. Here, there you go. Everybody, that's my mom, just so you know if you haven't met her before. So good morning, everyone. So let's open the door to some healing. What do you think? Anybody want to have a demonstration in their life? Sometimes we got to open the door because sometimes in the way is the thing itself, all the troubles, all of our fears, all of our doubts. We've got to move through those. We've got to open the door. So let's do that now. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. One more deep breath in. And exhale out. So let's take a moment just right now and let's just surround all of our fellow brothers and sisters up in Northern California who are really struggling right now. Many of them are members of the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa, our sister center. They lost everything except the shirt on their backs. And so let's just know that there is a divine intelligence working in, around, and through them right now, healing them, guiding them, sustaining, maintaining them into a greater expression of life. Let's just surround them in our love. So let's take a deep breath in. Exhale out. And now let's work on your life right here, right now. Is there something you need to release, something you need to let go? Something you want to surrender to a higher power and say, hey, look, let's co-create the solution to this. I'm done trying. I'm ready to have a new idea. When we talk about surrender again, it's not about making you right or wrong or the other person right or wrong. It's not about giving up. It's about lifting up and releasing yourself from a situation. Do you have one of those? All to Spirit I surrender. All to Thee I freely give. I will always love and trust You. In Your presence daily live. All to Spirit I surrender. All that's good is wholly mine. In Your presence, in this oneness, through You I am power divine, and I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Spirit, I surrender all.
Good morning, Center of Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. Let's just take a moment and breathe in God's love, a presence that is always available. And breathe out any concerns or worries or stress you may be feeling this morning. For here all is well. And in this I know that there is one power. There is one source, one mind. I call it God. God is love and peace and joy and serenity in its very highest form. And I know that God is always there for us. For its life is my life, and its love flows incessantly throughout my beingness. And in this knowing, every cell of my body is true, real, and alive. It is a realization of loving energy that pervades my very being. And I kneel in reverence to the Sacred Heart of Hearts with love, honor, and respect. For I know that the infinite healing energy flows in every fiber and every cell of my being. And into that flow, I release all my concerns, my hurts, my worries. For these are the feelings that block my greater good. And today I choose to release all old ideas of limitation and unworthiness, which brings me to gratitude. I am so grateful for all of the love in my life, and I celebrate my blessings. My gratitude is endless, and my sense of perfection is complete. So with this, I freely say, I release my word to the law of mind, knowing that it is done. And together we say, and so it is.
I surrender all. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Spirit. I surrender all. And I surrender all. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Spirit. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Spirit. I surrender all. Let's take a deep breath in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love. to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Sing with me. Words are on the screen above. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Well, I'm trying to row, but my water line's low and I'm waiting for the tide. Now I've always believed that whatever I need is somewhere here inside. But lately I just don't have enough, or is it just that I gotta go deeper where the well never runs dry? I've run out of ways of how to get to you. Love will have to stay hidden, tucked away, where it still gets to be true. But even when the boat upends and it looks like goodbye, yeah, you gotta go deeper where the well never runs dry. Fond of the road that I'm on and the way I'm getting through. It's been a bit of a doubt, and there is no doubt where all the signs are pointing you. So it's time to let go and dig down below. You know I'm willing to testify, and you gotta go deeper, always deeper, yeah. You gotta go deeper where the well never runs dry. Deeper, deeper, oh, listen to the wind blow, yeah. Deeper, where the wind blows to. Deeper, everywhere. deeper, drop by drop will do. Deeper, drop by drop will do. Yeah. Deeper. You gotta go deeper, deeper. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta go deeper. Oh yeah, you gotta go deeper. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta go deeper, deeper, yeah. You gotta go deeper, deeper, deeper.
Piano Pro Guide, everybody.
Beautiful, Deanna. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. Wow. Let's hear for that band, everybody, and our singers. They do such a great job. So again, good morning. And the title of my talk is Fear of Intimacy. Ooh, yeah, fun, huh? Yeah, where's he going to go with that? That could be fun. Yeah, we'll talk about that. There's all types of intimacy that we're going to be talking about today. The first one and foremost, let's do our affirmation first and we'll go from there. Together, please. I give myself fully to life, knowing that Spirit is always loving me, protecting me, and guiding me to greater good. One more time. I give myself fully to life, knowing that Spirit is always loving me, protecting me, and guiding me to greater good. So we talk about intimacy. We're talking about not just a relationship, intimate relationships. That's going to come in the second half of the talk. The first part of the talk is why are we developing relationships? How do we develop them? And what is the context of that? If you and I are both children of God, if we are children of God and we believe that to be true, then every time we get into relationship with anyone, whether it's a friendship, a coworker relationship, a neighbor relationship, no matter what kind of relationship it is, it's actually Spirit expressing itself one direction and Spirit expressing itself in the other direction. So the deeper we go into our relationships, the more likely we are to open up and be receptive to going deeper into our friendships, deeper into our loving relationships, the more we're expressing Spirit, the more actualized we become. So spiritual evolution should not make the infinite not more distant, but more intimate. When we go into a relationship with the Spirit, in other words, connecting with oneself, it has to be a relationship that becomes more intimate, more complex, more feeling, more of that embodiment of what Spirit is really about. So when we have that feeling and that emotion that we desire something like that, it's actually the Spirit calling itself into action to expand by means of us. It's calling us to expand our relationships, our connection with people. Intimacy is about having connection with people. I talked to some friends way back when I went back home, and you know what's interesting? You can be away from somebody for 5, 10, 15 years. Only get their Christmas card in the mail. And yet when you connect with them the next time, it's as if you've never left. Have you ever experienced that? It's as if it was like when you left 10 years ago, you left a comma, and then you start back in right where you left off, right? You have those kind of connections? That's what we're talking about. And not every relationship is going to go as deep in that level, but why not make as many of them as intimate like that as we can? It's not talking about physical intimacy, it's talking about having a connection. That connection is Spirit expressing by means of you and Spirit expressing by means of me. Intimacy is the capacity to be who you really are with someone, and I mean who you really are. Ooh, right? And finding out that that's okay with them. That's okay. It's okay to be who you are. That intimate relationships, intimate feelings are, you like me even though I'm messed up. Yeah? Yeah, that my life isn't perfect. I don't say everything perfectly. I don't have the script down perfectly. I don't know how to, sometimes I offend people. Look, I love you just the way you are, and I want you to love me just the way I am. In that, we can develop a capacity to have a more intimate friendship, connection, or relationship. Does that make sense? But you have to be, what's the key is that it has to be who you really are, not who you want the other person to see, but who you really are. You know what I'm saying, the difference? You know how you're always on your best behavior in certain places? Why can't we just always be our best and reveal who we are at all times? Why do we have to pretend to be something we're not? If we want to have an intimate, authentic relationship with the God self within us, that requires us to be authentic with ourselves and not pretend. That way, when that happens, we are actually attracting into our experience people of like mind and like vibration and frequency. While the power within us is limitless, it must become operative through our own thought. We shall see that what we need is not some greater power, but a greater consciousness, a deeper realization of life, a more intimate concept of an already indwelling God. It's not that we have to look for something outside of ourselves to become magnified. I don't need to have a deeper or look for a deeper relationship with whatever God is. I'm already in it. You're already in it. We're in it now, just expressing it. We're taking layers off of it. I had a great experience on Friday. The Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living celebrated 70 years of being a center. That's pretty magnificent, right? And I got to see some of my old, I haven't seen these people. Well, Carly was 6 months old when we left. And now she'll be 20 this year. So I haven't seen some of these people for 19 and a half years. And it was really interesting to see the connection that we still had. It's as if we have just kind of continued on life. They want to get caught up. We get caught up in 10 minutes. It's like, ooh, that feels good. That's what I'm talking about, that kind of connection. Does that make sense? All right, together, please. I give myself fully to life, knowing that Spirit is always loving me, protecting me, and guiding me to greater good. A person who never learned to trust confuses, are you ready? Intensity with intimacy, obsessions with care, and control with security. Yeah, I hear some intestines bunching up as we speak on that one. You're like, oh man, that hurt. That's hurting. But if you've never learned to trust, I mean, really trust it, and some of us, some of us have maybe had challenges with that because we've been in situations where we've been burned before, and we don't have that feeling anymore, like I can lean into that. But if you find yourself with this intensity and obsessing and controlling, then you're coming from a relationship from the fear side of things versus the love sort of things, okay? And when you're coming from the fear side, you're not going to get that level of intimacy because you're using the law incorrectly. You're using what God gave us incorrectly. We are not meant to have. Now, that doesn't mean intensity isn't good, but don't confuse it with intimacy, right? Obsessions, not so much, but every once in a while, if someone's obsessed with you, you're like, yeah. Just, yeah. Let that go on for a couple weeks, right? But don't confuse it with someone really caring about you, right? Don't confuse that with caring. And certainly don't ever confuse control with having security in a relationship. Because I tell you what, the second you start doing that, it's the second the relationship is kind of moving in the wrong direction. Does that make sense? The most important intimacy we can have is our intimacy with Spirit. When we deeply understand and accept that we can never be separate from the source of all we are then free to enjoy our human relationships more completely and with less fear that they won't last. So, when we release ourselves to diving deeper, get ready, my soul, I'm diving into a more deeper kind of love, right? A sweeter kind of life. When we get ready and we dive into the depths of our relationship with Spirit, we don't worry about people coming and going in our life because we know that there will be people who come and go in our life experience. But we have to welcome people in, and then some people bless us by coming and others by going. Right? So when someone wants out, we don't have to sit there and, go, ooh, good deal, but we can just bless them on their way. If someone wants out, you don't need to go get the lasso and try to, no, you're not going. Who will I be if I'm not with you? That's why he's leaving. That's why she's leaving, because they know who they are, and you don't. So remember that. I agree. Relationships, they all don't have to last forever. Think, that people come in for a reason or a season or just to drive you nuts for a while. You've heard that, right? Well, I made it the last part. You can attribute that to me. I put the quote up there. But either way, it's all an exchange of spirit expressing itself. We look at each other as individual human beings, but let's look at each other as the spiritual beings, and the spirituality between us, we're exchanging that in relationship. An intimate relationship does not banish loneliness. Only when we are comfortable with who we are can we truly function independently in a healthy way. We can truly function in a relationship. Two halves don't make a whole. When it comes to a healthy relationship, it takes two wholes and a lot of patience, trust, compassion, and flexibility. When I do a wedding ceremony, you've never seen me do a wedding ceremony where they light where the two become one. I don't have one of those unity candles in my ceremonies. I know some of you love that stuff, but what I want are two solid burning candles who love each other, right? Who are independent, who are strong, who have their own relationship with spirit, because that's strength. The two don't have to give up half of who they are to become a couple. They bring both of their strengths to the table, and both of those fires are brightly lit all the time. Does that make sense? And if you want an intimate relationship, remember it takes two wholes, not two halves, which means you have to enter in whole, right? So if you have a desire to have an intimate relationship with someone, I would say heal yourself first of all the things that you think are wrong with you, right? And then start looking. Because if you start looking while you're still hurting, you will attract a person who's hurting the same way, and then you have two broken people trying to make it work. Right? Does that make sense? All right, together please. I give myself fully to life, knowing that Spirit is always loving me, protecting me, and guiding me to greater good. At a human level, all relationships end whether through changes in life situations or because one of the parties makes his or her transition to the other side of life. So all relationships come and go. That's literally one of those things that when you sign on for as long as you can sign on, right? But somebody's going to leave at some point. Now, I remember in the 1970s, way back when, I had a couple aunts who wanted to file for divorce in the 70s, and it was like, remember? Do you remember for those? Well, some of you were born in like 90s, but for those of us who were around here, that was like, oh man, that's awful. There was such a stigma to that, right? Yeah? And now I'm looking at my daughter and going, man, I want to make sure that she lives with that person for a year before they get married, right? That used to be a sin, living together. It's like, no, honey, please live together so you don't have to go through all that later on. Make sure you keep the toilet seat down, things like that. Make sure you're comfortable in life. So that means this. What I'm trying to prove is that the paradigm shifts. We have shifts in the paradigm called relationships. We have an evolved setting. Now, some people, still believe that you shouldn't live with a person until you're married with them. In this center, I say, do whatever makes you feel right, and we're going to support you in a loving relationship. However you get to that love is how we want you to have that love expressed. And if you have love that has gone its course, I've recently been asked to do a divorce ceremony because they want to end, they came in whole, and they want to leave healed. Just because it didn't work doesn't mean that they're failures. It just means that they received what they needed to receive from one another, they blessed one another, and now they're moving into a greater good, a new experience. And they're doing it the right way, without hatchets and lawyers and things. Does that make sense? Yeah, see, somebody picked that up. Good, all right. Often we avoid intimacy out of fear of miss something that could be amazing for our happiness and well-being. After life situations, in other words, broken hearts or transitions, we can avoid even the simplest types of relationships for fear of additional pain. I know people recently that when they've lost someone, a woman I was talking to, she lost her husband. Her husband made his transition, and he hated cats, and she loved cats, right? And I said, well, now's your chance to get your cat. She's like, no. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have to go through the pain of grief again if something happens to the cat. And I'm like, ooh, you know what? Let's try to shift that just a little bit. Some of the simplest relationships we could get into, we're not doing because of fear of future loss. In other words, we're already going in anticipating the end. How about if you go in and live in that day? What if you went into a friendship or relationship and just you didn't have it didn't have an expiration date or an expiration experience, an ending that you have in mind, but you just go in because it feels right to do that. You can't run from the loss. That's just human nature. But don't run from love for fear of loss. Love when you can love. And when you have the capacity to love, by all means, loving something is the way Spirit expresses itself, and it expresses back to you. So, but by denying yourself that ability and that luxury of loving someone else again, you're actually denying Spirit's expression. Be open and receptive to that. Don't always close the door because you've been hurt before. I mean, I've shared with you before. I mean, I know what it feels like to have a broken heart. Singing Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald on your own, packing up the boxes and crying, and then Michael Jackson, she's out of my life. She's out of my life. And then Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. You come into that mode, where next thing you know, okay, I'm done, I'm over it, and you're like, I'm good, right? It's just part of the healing process of going through something like that. Anybody relate to that? Yeah, okay, good. I will survive. That's where we go. That's where we go. So don't be afraid of jumping in. Yeah, we've had losses. We're all going to experience losses in our life, but that's not a reason to not jump into love or friendships even. Maybe friendships have burned you or something like that, and you're afraid to make new friends because you don't want to be taken advantage of that. Then don't. But by all means, allow some new friendships to come forward that are not fear-based. Rather faith-based. Together, please. I give myself fully to life, knowing that Spirit is always loving me, protecting me, and to greater good. Intimacy requires courage because risk is inescapable. Intimacy requires, what's the word? Intimacy, when they say, into me I see, right? Intimacy is into me I see. So that requires courage for me to let you see me, the real me. Right? Ooh, I know people are like, gasp. That requires courage. We cannot know at the onset how the relationship will affect us. So it takes courage to enter into a relationship, a friendship, or an intimate relationship. It takes courage because you just have to know that person's going to see all of me, right? Maybe all of you. And you have to go, you know what? I'm okay with me, and I'm okay with expressing me. And I want to be able to open myself up to having someone do the same thing so we can have that kind of connection. Intimacy is about connection. Does that make sense? All right. Intimacy has a sexual connotation. That one is and that is one definition. But it really applies to any close relationship, especially a relationship where we have expectations of what the other person is going to provide for us. So intimacy definitely has a sexual connotation to it. And we can go into relationships, but they're kind of all the same. There's an expectation. Now, make sure our expectations are realistic. And one of my guidelines to communication, I always talk about, don't ever try to interpret what I'm not saying. In other words, don't try to read my mind, and I won't try to read yours. And don't have an expectation that I know what's going on in your mind if you're not telling me what's going on. Many times in relationships, we get into intimate relationships and we hear the words, well, you should have known that. How long have we been together and you don't know that? Really? Seriously? I mean, hi, my name is, have I known you forever? And you don't know how I'm feeling about this? Well, you know what? Why don't you articulate it and we'll go from there. Don't ever assume you're knowing someone else's or that someone else is expected to understand who you are, and what you do when you're not clearly articulating that even in the moment. If you expect to be in a relationship, don't go into a relationship expecting someone to be able to read your mind and understand that they won't be able to read yours either. Does that make sense? Physical intimacy cannot be a substitute for emotional intimacy. Make sure that you're not trying to substitute physical intimacy for trying to replenish yourself emotionally. Make sure that when you're doing that, because that's a one-sided affair. That's a one-sided feeling. So nothing's going to complete you but you. So make sure you're not searching for an emotional connection because you feel broken. Make sure you're searching for an emotional connection so that intimacy becomes a natural thing. Not control, but intimacy. Does that make sense? One of the things we can explore before we enter into a close friendship or sexual relationship with someone is what are our expectations of each other. Many, if not most of the challenges couples and friends have is that they never asked each other, you guys have no idea, never asked each other what their expectations were. Clarity always leads to greater harmony. So whether it's a relationship with your family, with friends, or an intimate lover relationship, husband, wife, lover, whatever you want to call it, partner, no matter what it is, the key to intimacy is always going to be communication. Communication without assumptions and communication without an expectation. Right? Spirit expressing, spirit giving, spirit receiving, spirit giving. Does that make sense? It's just the exchange of this thing called spirit. So the deeper relationship you have with yourself, your inside self, the greater a relationship is going to be because you're more complete and whole. You know, I always beg people, never go into a relationship feeling wounded because you're going to attract the same kind of woundedness. And that's not going to heal you. No one is going to fill you up but you. No one is going to heal you but you. No one is going to make you feel perfect, whole, and complete but you. The person may be a cheerleading section for you and may support you in your journey, but they're not the answer. Don't ever look at someone else in a relationship or intimacy to be the answer to where you feel like your tank is empty. Does that make sense? All right. Enlightenment is just intimacy with all things. Becoming connected, enlightenment. What we do here on Sundays and what we do in our classes, it's you're becoming enlightened. You're becoming more aware. You're becoming more versed at spiritual principles and how the universe really does work in a cause and effect relationship, and that there is no punishing God and there is no devil. No, the more enlightened you become more intimate with all things. It becomes a natural ebb and flow of your life to be in relationships that are all thriving and good. And the ones that aren't, you're okay with just letting them pass through, giving them safe passage out of your life. Safe passage in, safe passage out. Does that make sense? So, I love this. Dance like nobody's watching. Love like you've never been hurt. Sing like nobody's listening. And live like it's heaven on earth. You will attract to you relationships on every level that become more deepened and intimate because of your authenticity. To do exactly that. To dance, to love, to sing, and to live. You can't go wrong. When you're being your authentic self, you're going to have deeper and deeper friendships and relationships with people because that is attractive. On a friendship level and on an intimate level, authenticity, singing, dancing, loving, all that makes a person desirable. It doesn't matter what's in your 401k. It doesn't matter what kind of car you drive or what kind of designer clothes you wear or your signature fragrance. Right? What matters is that authenticity. And when you come from that place, that's spirit in its best form. Does that make sense? And so ends your lesson. Thank you, everybody. I'll be right back.
So I'd like to invite the ushers to come forward, please. And so as we prepare for our offering, please go within and feel the gratitude for all that you have. And again, I want to remind those that are using cash, please put your cash in the envelope, put your name on it, and own it. Feel the gratitude when whether you're giving by check or cash, but make sure it's identifiable. And it's that way, too, we can have you in our system, and we know that you are supporting the center. And just feel that gratitude as you give your offering. So those of you that are live streaming, please, there's a button there for your donation, or you can text to the number on your screen. So let us come together and say our offertory prayer, please. I give my offering with gratitude as I recognize the demonstration of Spirit's generosity in all areas of my life.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
I release and I let go. I'll do that. You go get your real one. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. All right. As they make their way up here in just a moment, we'll bless our offertory as a faith community. Believe it or not, I am a doctor, right? I mean, we're going to do the ceremony here. You would never get to see me in something like this, but this is what I wear. And yeah. Yeah. It's like wooing your priest. I'm not exactly sure how well that goes, but all right. William, can you put our offertory up, please? Let's all bless this gift together, please. Ready? Put your hands up for me. This collective offering is spirit in action. As it circulates into the universe, it touches and blesses many lives, including our own. All right. Amen. So now let's welcome our guests and visitors. If you're here for the very first time, we'd like to know who you are. If you're a guest for the first time, will you please stand up? We'd like to give you a gift. Anyone here for the first time? There you go. They're popping up. One over here. There we go to the left. Welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here. Yeah. We just gave you a CD case with our information packet inside, but there's no CD yet. We want you to stop by the foyer, and they will give you a CD to put in there. So we hope you come back and see us, make us part of your faith community. If you're just visiting, anytime you're in town, we're here 9 and 11 every Sunday. All right, so after the service, we're going to do our quick installation here, but after that, we're going to do 1-minute miracles over in the Om Room. You'll see the people that will be back there to help you. Just head on over to the social hall over there, and you'll see a little line that says where to go. And this is the things that are happening this week. Please, please invite you and 10,000 friends to come see the choir on Wednesday. I would love to just pack this place full. Again, all the proceeds are going directly to them for their travels. They've already done New York. They did Vegas. They're doing Disneyland on Thursday. They're not visiting, they're performing. So this actually keeps them on the road. So we're really glad to do that. So at this point, at this time, are we good?
Well, we have some ministers dressing, but
Well, okay. Well, while we're doing that, we can acknowledge some of our ministers. Are we ready to do that?
one of them, they're both back there getting dressed.
Okay.
I invite all our practitioners to please come forward and stand here along the podium, and those of you that are receiving your awards and so forth, please come forward. And our newest practitioners also come forward.
So while the other ministers are getting ready for the ceremony, why don't we introduce our two newest practitioners? Sorry, Dale, mind your way. So where is Holly and Vicky?
They're coming. Excuse me.
Vicky, here we go. So I want to introduce Holly and Vicky. Step out here for me, please. There we go. These two, step right up here. Wave to the people. There you go. Right there. There. Look around. Everyone, these are your two newest licensed practitioners. So they are here. Yes. So you will see them wearing their stoles like this. And for those of you here for the first time, you don't know that that's what those are for. The purple ones and the white ones. These are our interns?
No,
they're
these
full.
are full ones.
I was going to say they're full.
They chose the white ones.
Oh.
They wanted
So
the
you want
white
to set your
ones.
side apart.
Yeah.
But that's good. So the purple and the white means that they are licensed practitioners. You'll see them in the Om room, and anytime you want spiritual healing, they're the ones you contact. So welcome, Holly and Vicky. Welcome to our spiritual ministry, our prayer ministry.
So please stay up there. Please get up there with everybody else, because you are now practitioners.
Do you have
And
the pins?
I do have the pins, excuse me.
And now we have 3 practitioners who are getting their 5-year pin, and that is Kathy Dugood, Mary Barnon, and Christine Cummings. So would you guys step forward? 5 years as a practitioner, folks. Let's have them a round of applause. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Mary.
And we started with
you,
a
Kathy.
class of, I don't know how many? 18. And these are the only ones that are still standing. So congratulations.
And we have one minister who's getting her 15-year pin today, and that's Reverend Michelle of our pastoral care
15
section.
years. Wow. Woo-hoo. And Reverend Michelle leads up our pastoral care and does a fabulous job in our grief with Reverend
Can you believe
Ruth
15
Ann.
years?
Yeah.
I know.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
All right, so is our main guest available now? Ruth Ann? Reverend Ruth Ann, where are you?
Reverend Ruth Ann.
Reverend Ruth Ann, it's time.
It's it. This is it. This is it. Yeah.
Here she comes.
Here she comes.
All right.
Here she comes. Yes, we
Come
found
on,
her.
Ruth Ann.
Thank you, Reverend.
Ruth Ann is being
you
ordained
look like
today.
An angel.
Oh, very angelic. I like that.
Beautiful. Yes. Oh.
I'll have you step right up, right in the center here. All right? And I'm going to read a few things to you. Actually, several things. All right? So, Reverend ministers of religious science, practitioners, members, family, and friends, we present to you Reverend Ruth Ann Banner, ordained into the ministry of the Centers for Spiritual Living. I have one letter to read to you from Dr. Heather. I saw her on Friday. She's on sabbatical, and she would have come here if she wasn't on sabbatical, but she wanted me to say this. It is more important than ever that I remind myself that ordination indicates a lifelong call to ministry. Of all the ceremonies, ordination is by far my favorite. I feel it is the most sacred and meaningful. It is the greatest honor. Beloved Reverend Ruth Ann, I'm sorry that I'm not with you in person today, but I'm definitely with you in consciousness. If I didn't have a previous commitment, I would be there. As your stole is being placed on your shoulders, feel all the love from all the ordained and licensed ministers in our organization, knowing that you are loved and you are honored. I love you. That's from Dr. Heather Dawn Clark from our San Juan Capistrano Church. So, yes, thank you. Reverend Ruth Ann Banner has been found to be prepared and ready to be an ordained minister in this organization, the Centers for Spiritual Living and the Center for Spiritual Living Palm Desert, having now completed the required period of licensed
Licentiate.
Thank you, ministry. We are
Licent.
that's why we have her. We are gathered here to witness a magnificent ceremony. It's initiation, it's welcoming, and it's transformation. Ordination in the Centers for Spiritual Living is an initiation as a licensed minister into the lifelong calling of ministry. It is a welcoming on behalf of the family of ordained ministers of our faith, of one or more in their ranks. And it is the transformation opportunity for the minister that we honor today, a transformation into the state of ministry for a lifetime. We are ministers, practitioners, center members, family, and friends, and we're here to witness this holy rite. Reverend Ruth Ann, the set of requirements for your ordination have been all set, and yet there is one thing that is an elusive component of consciousness that is the utmost importance. Therefore, I ask you, Reverend Ruth Ann, do you feel in your heart of hearts that you are ready for the sacred and permanent state of an ordained minister of the Centers for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert? You can tell she does pastoral care. Yeah, I do. Reverend Ruth Ann, the ties of a minister to her ministry represents a bond that is sacred, empowering, safe, constant, and with this ceremony, everlasting. With ordination, you step into a new life of spiritual service and commitment. Ministry, with its glorious moments of holy revelation and its changing moments of messy group dynamics, becomes your lifelong passion, your own classroom. You have entered into a path of no return. You become a minister for life. This union is to be undertaken with great consideration and respect for your ministry, for those people who comprise your ministry, and for yourself. Out of all the possibilities for giving your gifts to the world, you have chosen to be a minister for Centers for Spiritual Living. This is a tremendous blessing to us, as we want it to be a tremendous blessing for you year after year. Over the years, your ministry and you will change, but your unchanging commitment to the desires of your heart that brought you here today will ensure a life of sacred satisfaction in your ministry. Do not hold back. Give all the wisdom, the organizational skill, and all the love you have to give. Of course, love is the most important part. A minister must have a breadth of heart that holds others' hearts comfort, heals, and remains deep enough to serve your own spiritual growth. Let your thoughts be centered on the divine and seek to see the Holy One in every person you meet. I charge you, Reverend Ruth Ann, to teach, heal, love, minister to all, and may the peace of God forever be in your heart. The truth of God be expressed through your words, and the light of God move through your hands into the world that awaits the mighty gifts that you have to give. Are you prepared to take your vows to become a minister for life at the Centers for Spiritual Living? Will you bring the very best that you have into this ministry for the love of the people you serve and for your own deepening? Please fold your hands over your heart as a symbol of the sanctity for which you're about to take these vows. Reverend Ruth Ann, do you promise to love and be loyal to the teachings of the science of mind and to the center that you serve? I do. Do you promise to minister to all those who come to you to the best of your ability and to seek to see the face of God in all people? Do you promise to maintain your own spiritual practice so that your relationship with Spirit is always fresh and new? And do you promise to promote harmony, peace, and right action wherever you find you are called to minister? Good. Now please repeat after me. I, Reverend Ruth Ann Banner, commit to my ministry for my lifetime. I promise to open my life to God so that I may hear what is mine to do. I promise to tenderly care for all who come to me in spiritual need. From this day forward, I will seek to make the world a place of increased love, peace, and joy. I send my word forth to heal and to prosper. And I pray that God is fulfilled in, through, and as me. Beautiful. Beloved Reverend Ruth Ann, because you have been found eminently qualified for ordination and because you have made your sacred vows in front of your colleagues, your friends, and members of the center, by authority vested in me by the Centers for Spiritual Living, I now confer upon you ordination as a minister for Centers for Spiritual Living. Congratulations. One more part. We have one more part. Hold on. Come on up, Joel. The Centers for Spiritual Living now have a gift to give you as a symbol of your new life as an ordained minister. The stole that we now confer on this ordained minister is a symbol of commitment to the promises she has already made, devotion of a life of spiritual service, and a reminder that the power of the Infinite One is available to all present. Wherever this minister wears this stole in years to come, it is a garment of spiritual power. Your ordination stole is purple and gold, and through the colors mean different things to different people. Among people of faith, purple is to be understood to be the color of devotion, mystery, peace, and nobility. Purple combines the calm stability of blue and the fierce energy of the red. The gold is intimately linked with divinity. Gold symbolizes wealth, uses wisely, and represents illumination, love, compassion, and courage. The satin fabric is a reminder that your ministry, just like your life, is woven from the threads of many people, events, and understanding. And it is all of these different experiences that make your life, as well as your ministry, strong and beautiful. The smooth quality of satin reminds us that in rough spots of our ministry, that as we lean into our spiritual being, it is one of smoothness beneath the ever-present in the midst of life's challenges. Our Science of Mind symbol represents, expresses the triune nature of God, which continually reveals itself in the hearts of our lives, reminding us that spirit descends into and expresses as all form, that is all sacred, all is divine. Every time you wear this stole, you are linked with all the clergy and spiritual teachers around the globe and across the centuries. You carry upon your shoulders the form and the essence of your ministry, clarity, love, and the strength of a great philosophy and a rich and fulfilling way to live your life. The stole is a loving blessing to you and to all who bless this ministry. Reverend Ruth Ann, the time has come for you to accept this symbol of spiritual power. May it be that each time you put the stole on your shoulders for all the years of your ministry, that you draw strength from every spiritual worker from time immemorial who have also donned that garment and spiritual power. May you remember the love that accompanies the presentation of this stole here today. When you wear this garment, may you always rid your mind and heart of petty concerns and enter the clarified partnership of the divine. Now it is time to bestow the stole on this blessed minister. You have chosen your husband, Joel, to bestow the stole. So I ask you, Reverend Ruth Ann, your husbands, to join us. Place that over her like that. And now it is official. The ceremony has now been complete. Congratulations, Reverend.
I so appreciate you being here. You are my spiritual family, and I'm so delighted to share this day, which is my wedding to my teaching. And I want to thank Reverend Laura for organizing all of this so beautifully. I want to thank Dr. Joe Hooper, our spiritual leader, for giving me so many opportunities that have helped me grow into my ministry. And I especially want to honor two women who have shown that you can be powerful and loving and compassionate at the same time. Two people who have always believed in me and supported me throughout this whole journey. Dr. Maxine Kay and Dr. Heather Dawn, who was my teacher and mentor. And I have someone else that I want to thank, someone who has been by my side physically. I mean, my classmates used to call him my bodyguard because he was ever present, driving me to classes, to churches where I was invited to speak, to conventions. He even gets up every Sunday morning to provide sound and music at my 7:15 Sunday sunrise service. My husband, Joel, and I'd like to call him my mensch. If you don't know, if you don't know what mensch means, it's Yiddish for someone of integrity, loyalty, and friendship. And he's been all of that and more for me, and he is that for a lot of people I know. So I want to thank you all for being here, and I think it's time to party, isn't it?
I think we've got some... oh, yeah.
Almost.
That's your official
That's your official
license.
license. And here's a gift
Oh, my
that
gosh.
that William made for you from the center.
That's lovely.
Okay.
That's lovely.
Hold on. Congratulations, you guys. Ready? Let's take a picture. There you go. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Ruth Ann. All right. Thank you, practitioners and ministers.
So this is your prayer ministry, your team here, and we have wonderful. They are powerful. They are wonderful, and so want to thank all of them. Dr. Joe, do you want to do a closing prayer for?
All right, let's take a deep breath in and exhale out. Before we go into that, you're welcome to join us in the back area of the center here. We've got some, I think, cakes. Sparkling cider and little goodies for you guys to stop by and congratulate Reverend Ruth Ann in the Rose Garden. All right, so this is what I know. I know that there's only one divine presence, one intelligence in the universe. It works in, around, and through each one of us. And I speak my word right now knowing that today something wonderful happened. Hearts were opened, ideas were planted that will allow you to experience greater love and joy in your life. We experienced and witnessed a beautiful ceremony of someone who's devoted their life to this teaching and to ministering to all of us in that special way that she does so beautifully. I know that we are truly blessed to have this beautiful building, to have all these things, this air conditioning, these lights, and we're safe. We're safe, and we're allowed to worship however we feel the need to worship. And we send a prayer out now. We send our thoughts out to anyone who is suffering for any reason at all. We surround them with the love of God, the light of God, and the wisdom of God to help them move, guide, and be sustained and maintained through whatever it is that they're walking through. And I know that for each one of us here, we now move into our week having had something move within us and change the way we look at our life, the way we look at our relationships. We're so very grateful to have this opportunity to share in community and spiritual community with like-minded people, to have the volunteers and ministers and practitioners and staff work so diligently to create such a beautiful experience for us every Sunday, and for the musicians and for the singers and our guest artists who beautifully moved our soul today. Thank you, beloved presence. Thank you, beloved presence, for all these gifts and for so much more we have yet to discover. I now release my word with this sense of expectancy and knowing that something wonderful will continue to happen in your world today, and you're going to be right there in the heart of it. As I release my word, I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.